I remember my parents telling me that immediately after I was born, they evacuated all the people in the small town called Boypad, which is now, before it used to be Ochito, we call it like a deep river city. They evacuated us to the inner city of the country because they want to contain the country. So they made it into a work camp. Anyway, my family stayed under the bridge, where we can find shacks and abandoned homes, and they start moving towards the inner city of Cambodia. And the Khmer Rouge finally corral everybody up and placed them in a work camp. And that's where I grew up. I remember we were staying in a abandoned warehouse. And at that time I was about 4, and in the middle of the night our family heard some shootings, and I was awakened by that shooting sound, bombing and people screaming. So we ran down the second level of the abandoned warehouse to a trench, and my dad and my dad was counting heads, see how many kids he brought down.
Yeah.
So he's counting, and he pushed. I remember I look up and I see all the tracer flying just above our head. And my dad said, "Hey, put your head down because you can get shot." So after he count all the children's head, he's missing one. It's my older sister. So he ran back upstairs. And I think that's kind of got me to appreciate life because that the sacrifices that my parent made, risking his life to go back and get all the siblings back, other kids back down. I believe about maybe 1978, 79, we reached the border of Thailand and Cambodia, and I recall seeing the United Nations sign, the baby blue sky UN sign with the little man thing on the side. And I was about 3 or 4 years old. They give us food portions, based on the number of people in the family. I recall from 79 to about 85, there were some issues at the camp also. We have robberies and murders and rape, and there's no policing. I spent about 7 years at a refugee camp. I came to the United States in November 1985. When I was 16 years old, we have a job fair in high school in Long Beach. And one of the booths that I went to was the fire department, Long Beach Search and Rescue. I was exposed to law enforcement officers, firefighters. And in one of the quote that I remember from somebody who was telling me, saying that, for so many years you've been on the receiving end. And why not become somebody who can be on the giving end? So I want to do something where I can give back to the community, and I know that there's other jobs in this community that we can do to give back to the community. But I think law enforcement is one of the most respected career, and also noble career, especially in our Asian country and Asian culture. Law enforcement is very respectable and very noble profession. Last year, my parents somewhat kind of begged me to go. Hey, I'm getting old now. Can you help me to Cambodia? And I said, okay, well, let's do it, because I hate flying. I don't want to go and live in a shack and stuff, because I've been there already.
Yeah.
So when I got there, my perspective of the visits, it wasn't the same as I thought it was. I didn't plan to do any charity. Like I told other people in the past, that sometimes things just kind of fall into place. And I went there and I spent some of my own money to do charity because I didn't plan it. And I could not walk past a child sitting there begging for food. When I was over in Cambodia last year, my parents took me to some secluded villages where his brother lives. I took the initiative to go kind of walk around and talk to people. What are the things that you guys wanted most? And I've seen some drought issues. There's some part of the villages are so far away from rivers and lakes, and they're so vulnerable to drought. And my uncle actually lives in a small town that he told me that last year they didn't have enough rainwater, so all his rice crop died. And then he has to go buy water from people who has wells. I came up with this idea, if I put a water well in a community location such as the Buddhist temple, which is open to public, it can be used as a community well.
Okay.
I'm not going to build one in a private residence because that person may be using it to sell and to other people. So I put it in a Buddhist temple. Anybody can come and get the water.
Right.
Right now I can afford to build 2 wells from the generosity of the people here in Fresno and outside of the city. It is up to us to help those in need. Helping people is not, because of, one person who's rich. No. It's involved a lot of people in the community. I think if we all see it like that, the world's going to be a happier place.